3 a.m. I can't sleep. Discrimination. Discrimination of a wage in 1989. 1 SCR 143 in brackets SCC. Andrews versus the Law Society of British Columbia. A wage is discrimination in the court system. And many other things. Meaning, social services. If a wage is discrimination, then social services is a discrimination to the rest of society. And every even minimum wage is discrimination to society, that one is better than another. Problems in our world is, people think people choose to live on social services. They call them freeloaders and many other different things, and be slanderous, pig-headed assholes. And then they expect you to pay some type of debt to society because you lived on social services, or you're forced to live on the street because of somebody else's discrimination, such as my parents or other people around me. Poverty is discrimination. Color is a discrimination if you want to look at it. Same with your sex or anything like that. Problem is, basic necessity of life is a discrimination too, because luxury is no such thing other than the definition of luxury is a necessity. Necessity is a luxury. Everything you need, and everything was made because somebody needed it at one time. Then they made it for the masses because they could make money from it and think they needed it to make it cheaper, and they could develop it better. We live in a society of not greed, but existence. One only lives in society to basically rent somebody else's house, whoever owns it. And we're lucky if we own a house. And we scrape by. Wages and rents are overpriced, as is food. So when we get paid for a month from our wages, we don't make enough to pay for our rent and eat. And that's our society. We are enslaved, dictated by our government, who discriminates us all by fair, equal wages to the barter system, which they eliminated by saying a barter for an hour wage is worth how much an hour. Our problem is our government and the faculties such as the RCMP and police forces and military who dictate how the law is dealt with. Because if they don't see fit in arresting somebody, such as our government, for intending to harm the people, like our government of British Columbia, Campbell that did, by taking away from the impoverished, then giving back, but not allowing for inflation, harming those who are in most need that only get $7,000 a year at the max to survive, which is $10,000 at least under a $9 an hour full-time hours per year, being 17 to 18,000 a year, which you really need something like 30 to 40 to really exist in the society and live comfortably and maybe have one child in your life if you're married. So, what's the problem? Our government needs to be charged with intent to harm, discrimination to impoverished, and discrimination to the common working person. We don't need to pay high wages to people like them if they're going to intend to harm the people. We're enslaved, and slavery was ran out in the 1730s during the Civil War. That's all. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. I can't sleep because somebody sprayed something. And I've been up since, 11 o'clock in the morning. And it's giving me itchy throat too. I don't know. It's pretty pathetic. Life in a nutshell. 12 years of starvation. I'm accumulating body fat. I've lost weight and gained weight. How much muscle mass? Well, I think it's aiding itself, but I'm gaining a little body fat now because of, I think somebody might have taken my testosterone level, being my natural male hormone, down. Ever since my dentist, well, my strength has gone down. That's all I can say. That's all for now, but as I said, trying to make it 1 day a week for dumpster diving. I'm forced to do it because it's the only way to get money. I don't see working in a bottle depot where I'm insulted by the other employees there as a fit job because I want to get away from stinky, dirty, bacterial areas. I wanted to be a cop at one time. I wanted to be in the military, which I applied for both, which I didn't have references to get into, and the only jobs I see fit. Maybe running for a mayor. Maybe I should become a plaster miner. I'm not going to work in some garbage depot or bottle depot. It's not a job to me. As right individual, I do what I want to do. My back hurts me every day. It's not a lie. I have to take ibuprofen. It sucks. End story? People who provoke people and cause incident from another country and say a Canadian is being racist and greedy and that we're a wealthy country and we're not. My whole family has lived in poverty since entering this country and never have ever had a decent job other than my grandfather Bain, who worked on a farm and didn't make anything more than a living wage as far as I know. My birth father is the only person I know that's made $120,000 a year and refused to pay his child support. My parents, together they made lots, as far as I know, and they only gave their kids what they thought was fit, and neglected a lot on the way. Why don't I feel they could have done more? But hey, who am I to say? I'm not the parent they say. Oh, you know what all parents say. Wait till you have kids and you'll know what it's like. I can't afford to have kids, can't afford to get married, can't even afford to live in this society because my grandparents and parents couldn't do fuck all for anybody else and protect their great grandkids or grandkids against the ignorance of our government and putting us back into slavery. Well, that's all she wrote. Discrimination. Andrew S. Contacted. We'll see if he contacts me back or not. But it's all about discrimination.